Mark doesn't announce himself as the author of his own gospel, and there may have been a very good reason for it, and it has something to do with Alexander and Rufus. No, not that Rufus. Mark is very deliberate and intentional with his gospel, mentioning specific places and locations, and also using a language that his audience is familiar with, hence why his gospel contains more Latinisms than any other gospel writer. Whether it be Jairus, the synagogue leader, Joseph of Arimathea, the bleeding woman in Mark 5, or Peter's own home in Capernaum. But in Mark 15:21, it gets interesting. And they compelled the passerby, Simon of Cyrene, who was coming in from the country, the father of Alexander and Rufus, to carry his cross. Who is Alexander and Rufus? There's no other mention except in Romans 16 of this well-known figure, Rufus, in the Roman church, but Rufus was a common Roman name. Other than that, the scholars have no idea who they are, and neither does anyone else. But Mark's audience certainly did. And it just so happens both Matthew and Luke in their account of Simon and Cyrene leave out Rufus and Alexander because it has no relevancy to their own audience. Their audience don't know who they are, and neither do they describe them. But Mark's audience does, even though Mark doesn't describe who they are. And the reason he doesn't describe them is because Mark is most likely writing towards a local Christian community who happens to be his own church, who are aware both Rufus and Alexander and Mark. And that would be the reason why he didn't announce himself. It's because his audience already knew him.